All right, it says it's preparing to share, and now it's shared. Okay, I'm gonna share this out on Facebook, and we're back. Okay. Right. Since I've given nobody any advance notice that this is actually going to happen, I will just get started and we'll deal with it as we may, and see what happens from there. So, I had a really nice package delivered today, unexpectedly, from Tom Russell at Hollandspiel Games. He had originally sent me a couple of games that which I'd done some video on before, and you've probably all seen all that, announcing his launch of his new print-on-demand business. And I had been meaning to order these and had not. And so it was a nice surprise to see him actually send these out to me. So these are comp copies. But I did want to take a minute to talk about Tom as a designer and his kind of, I guess, his thinking and thoughts on what's going on in the marketplace. We had a fairly long conversation about a week and a half ago, and I've recorded it, and I did want to transcribe it, but I'm having a hard time encapsulating his kind of the essence of who he is as a guy. He's very different from a lot of other designers that I've spoken to, and I don't have massive experience talking to designers. I only know 2 or 3, I think. I've only spoken with 2 or 3. So I don't have this deep experience, but Tom struck me as a particularly unique individual in a good way. So what I thought I would do is let's run through the shrink grips on these 2 bad boys here. Let's talk about Tom and his company and what I took away from my conversation with him. And by the way, I did want to have a kind of follow-up conversation with him and talk about all the stuff that's coming. He's getting them out faster than I can write at the moment, or produce video or anything like that. So I figured let's just jump on it, and I'll do this and we'll talk about him versus me writing about him. And he had sent me artwork for some upcoming games that no one's seen yet, and I thought that'd be cool, but at the rate I'm going here, we're not going to get to it in time. So let's have a look, and I don't know very much about these games, so we should sort of dig in and check it out, right? The first title is called House of Normandy. It's set using the Shield and Swords version 2 of the system. It's really I've mentioned this before, but Shield and Swords is one of those classic, clean, almost. In fact, it's easier and simpler than SCS as a game system. If we just looked at it from a system standpoint, it's very, very simple. But it is very rich in its implementation because of the means with which you give orders to the forces. You're choosing 1 or 2 chits to play, and a combination of those, of 2 chits will give you benefits at a cost. And there's a really delicious set of choices you need to make on a regular basis. So here you can actually see across here, you've got some examples of some of these orders. And I don't know all of these because these are unique to this game, but we have combat. We probably have a rally or a charge. We have a fast move. We have a shield wall, some sort of horse combat, and probably knights charging, archery, and who knows, something to do with the leader, right? And I have no idea what this banner means. Maybe that's a rally. But you've got this, so you've got this unique system that's really ideally situated to serve the medieval era. And I think that he's struck upon something that could play well across many, many battles. And here we have a game that looks, by the looks of it, has 4 battles. And we're dealing with the House of Normandy, which is set around the William the Conqueror's era, and dealing with all the various dramas that go into that. And I can zoom in here and you can have a little squiz at that and check that out there. Game box, nice artwork on the back. Yeah, it's okay. The font here is a little soft, I think, but no problem. Artwork on the front cover is awesome. Let me just zoom out a little bit. And very sturdy box. Now, once again, Tom designed the system. First featured in the R magazine from not from Tiny Battles, but from the Flying Pig guys. I do not know Gonzalo Santa Cruz. I do know Ania. Ania is a budding map designer, and I, in general, like her work. So let's see what we got, right? Nice box. Super thick counters. Check that out, right? I mean, that's pretty epic. And the colors here are actually really nice and rich too. And these ones seem to have a bit of a satin finish on them, whereas the last set did not. They have a pretty pungent odor to them too, which is kind of let me see if we can get high on this. No, okay, not gonna happen. So I'll just have a drink instead. All right, beautifully cut. These are going to pop out really nicely. Gorgeous counters, nice color contrast, clear fonts. If you've played the game before, you'll know these Bs stand for a unit type or a rating, and then it's a comparative thing. A's fight Bs. There's a benefit, etc., etc. Real simple CRT resolution. It's either retreats or step losses. And once again, we've got the beautiful Ania. This is, she needs to trademark or copyright this freaking texture. This texture is gorgeous for this style of warfare or this style of, this period of combat. I really like it. So there's two maps. One's pretty, standard fare, right? We're talking, let me get this in focus for you. There you go. It's an open battlefield, go figure. And this one has a hill, some sort of woods or brackish material on the left-hand side, and some sort of setup area over here that we will probably need to deal with. Well, the only thing I get fussy about with this these map printouts is the folds are not as crisp and as tight as perhaps you would expect from a GMT game or whatever. By the same token, these are printed on demand, so it's a different deal. So I totally understand that. And Tom promised me and all of us that he was going to, I'm trying to get the rules out of the thing here. You're going to work on the box size and make the box size a little better. And isn't that great? You give as a consumer, you give an organization feedback and they listen and they actually make adjustments and do stuff that benefit you. Now, for the collector, that poses a slight problem because if you, for instance, wanted to collect all of the Hollandspiel games, well, the next version of this is printed may come in a slightly bigger box. Are you going to buy 2 copies? I'm sure there are whack jobs out there that would do that. So, 7 pages of rules. Thanks for playing, right? I've shown you guys all this before. I do want to see what if I was right with the, it's just the horse phase, okay. Withdraw, that's what that is. And let's see, we've got the crown here. Where is the crown? Oh, just a bonus. So you use this as bonuses. That's right, that's a B. So you use this for bonuses. When you play this with a move or with a combat or with a withdraw or with a horse, etc., it gives you additional benefits. I don't see the crown. Anyway. Here it is. Initiative. Oh, of course, I should have known that. All right. House of Normandy. All these notes, I will guess, will have been written by Tom, and he has a great writing style. I'm very impressed with how he writes. In here you will find background on each of the battles and who was who and what happened and why, and he tends to be fairly charming and amusing in the commentary. Each scenario has setup instructions and there'll be some scenario-specific rules for those individual games and the victory conditions as well. So very nice job yet again, Tom. So I'm just going to pop this back in the box. I knew this was coming out, so I knew the House of Normandy was on its way. I did not know, or I'm not aware of, the next title, which is a solitaire game. So let's check that out and keep going. We've got a couple of comments here, so let's just deal with those. Hi Bobby, how are you doing? Mike, how are you? Good to see you guys. Let's see what this has got for us, and then we'll talk about Tom Russell, the designer guy, if I can get my thoughts in order. Okay, and once again, Ania and Gonzalo have done the artwork. Nice box art. I like it. I really like it. I'm just digging that. Let me flip this over and see what this is all about, because I really haven't even had a chance to look at the box. I got home late. Okay, the year of Vespasian and Titus, Civil War, yada yada yada. The Flavians restored peace. The emperor has charged you with the seemingly impossible task of bringing various elements of the Britannian tribes under control. So Agricola, or Agricola, depending on where you come from, or whether you want to use Greek, Latin, or who's your mother's uncle language, is a solitaire game of governance and conquest. To master the delicate political situation, you will need the right blend of military force, administration, bribery, and diplomacy. Okay, there you go. But you'll never know exactly who's with you or against you, because the game tracks this under the hood, or more precisely, in the cup. Three chip pool cups, friendly, unfriendly, and hostile, represent the allegiances of the units contained within those cups, and after each action you take, one or more of those units are blindly moved from one cup to another. Oh, that is clever. You'll have a general idea. I really cheesed them off, or I should have a lot of friendlies available, blah, blah, blah. But until you pull a chit, you won't know for sure. It's not totally random. Certain tribes naturally skew one more direction than the other. Building the right armies, taking the right actions, and that sounds very cool. Okay. And it's solitaire, no less. Man, I've got so much stuff set up. I'm not even sure I have room to set this up to try it real quick. What do we got? Once again, it's clean rule book, 10 pages, full color. Attack, defense, resistance, numbers. Interesting that there are factors on the Romans on the right-hand side, and the tribes have them on the left-hand side. Map is point to point. And I got no problem with point to point maps, as long as they it doesn't destroy the art of the map. Okay, so your actions here are going to be garrison, peacekeeping, battle actions, passing, suppressions, and stuff like that. Hostile tribal reactions. Huh. Very interesting. Okay, so there's that. Let's see if there's a little historical background in here, and let's check out the map. Well, so this is the map. Here we go. It's an 11 by 17, is that right? So pretty straightforward. And then there's a battle map, which is very thematic. I like it. No idea how it works. We've got a force pool, a dead pool, some sort of tracking. I guess these are where the legions go. No, maybe these are where the legions go. These are legions. Augusta, Hispania, and Valera Victrix are Roman legions. I do know that much. At least I think I know that much. The different tribes. Okay, pretty cool. Let's see these pieces. And we got a die. Woohoo. Okay, so there's no additional commentary in here, so I'm guessing the commentary is over here on the left-hand side. Here we go. Okay. More alcohol? Yeah, so they are legions. Garrisons. Nice counters again, just really nice. Then they've got the satin finish on them as well. These are gorgeous. Damn. Okay, very cool. I'm looking forward to trying this one out. I may try and change my play schedule around a little bit. I was going to goof around with Central Front Series a little bit, but I'm over quarter on Modern Combat Online. Okay. Let's see here. Let's talk about... Yeah, it does... Hey, Devin, yeah, it does sound really cool. I tell you what, mate, once I play it a couple of times, why don't I send it your way and you can do a video playthrough thingy thing? Why don't we do that? Would that be cool, Devin? Okay, so let's do this. Let's talk about Tom Russell, this guy. When I had a conversation with him, I'll give you kind of set the context. So we're doing a Skype call, and I'm recording it, and no video. He didn't want to do video. We talked. He has a very soft voice, very quietly spoken, and we talked about what he does professionally, which we'll leave out of the conversation. But he's a professional worker and works real hard, and like a lot of people, he's struggling to put two nickels together in a good way. He's working hard, and he and his wife are doing the right things, and but they want to make games, and they want to make games for a bunch of reasons, and some of which I'll touch on in a second. But as I spoke to him and listened, he's very soft-spoken and very articulate and very unassuming and very, very not contrite, but humble is a good word. And we were talking, and I started, engaging him, and he didn't know whether, because I'm such a jackass online sometimes, he didn't know whether I was trying to do a hack job on him, I guess, or really trying to help him out. But once we got talking, I think he relaxed a little bit, and I asked him about his background and what he had done and what he had done with his life and what his aspirations were and stuff like that. Trying to get away from the standard bullshit interview where we go, well, what was your first game, Tom? And we just had a life conversation. And so that really drew out a lot of stuff. And really what I will net it out without boring you to tears about it. I'll net out that conversation to say that Tom has started various businesses in the past. He has been a thespian. He has been a movie producer. He has been a comic. He has looked for ways in his life to connect with people, all under the auspices of the fact that he recognizes that he is not necessarily an outward person or a people engager or a gregarious individual. He's very quiet and soft, like I said, softly spoken and shy. He's a shy dude. And so, and this all came about because I said to him, well, why are you doing print on demand, and why aren't you just, doing Kickstarter and all that sort of stuff, and you just go raise, $5,000 or $10,000 and print your games. That way you can get your costs down and you can make better margins, and, you can make the same quality product, but you buy more, cost you less, yada, yada, yada. And he goes, I know all that, Kevin. The amount it costs me to make them, I can't, and the volume I make them at, I can't even put them into distribution because there's not enough money in it for the distributor. So I can only do it really at the moment through, the website. And so word of mouth is really, really important to him. And that's how we can, and I said, well, why can't you do Kickstarter? He goes, well, listen to me. He said, listen to my voice, and I'm not an engaging person, and I'm not going to be able to do a video, and people won't like me. Which I found fascinating, and I asked him, and I said, well, why? And then he told me about his background, and with all this experience in making movies and being a comedian and all sort of stuff, and a great writer, I was like, how could you not do that? And that's where we kind of got into it and had that conversation about who he really is. So the reason why he started making games and designing games and being involved in the gaming world was it was something he could do and connect with a person one-on-one. And then as he played more games, he started making his own designs or editing current designs. And that's where he realized, or at least he thought, he had a knack and that he could connect with people. And this was his way, designing games was his way of connecting with people. And that really resonated with me a lot, because when we play these games when a lot of time we play by ourselves, right? So for him to say that, he's acknowledging that, we play games alone. But what he's saying is, I want to share my vision and my view of a particular point in time or a piece in history or a battle or a circumstance or a situation, and he expresses himself through the game. And I think that is fantastic, and I think it's very heartwarming to me to hear that. And very cool, right? To choose this in a low margin, what's already ostensibly a low margin business anyway, to be razor thin margined is and do this for love and passion is really cool. Now we'll say Tom has some other interests. He's involved in the train game business and designing train games, and he'll have some pretty awesome news coming out soon about that. It'll be completely separate from this company, but it's a thing he's working on with another company that I think will financially benefit him, and hopefully that will translate into more game titles for us and maybe some higher volumes for him, which would be nice. So really fascinating guy to listen to. I would love to sit down with him and have coffee or drink a beer and talk about games and life and his view on design, because he does have a unique take on things. I'll be curious to see how this plays. I know how this game is going to play. It'll just be the uniqueness of the particular battle that we're dealing with that will drive the narrative. But I know how this game will play, and it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. This I have no idea, and I'm very, very curious to see what evolves out of this. So we'll see. I'm going to quickly check. Okay, just Devin commenting. Cool, thank you, Devin. So I'm going to keep this neat and tidy at 22, 23 minutes and say this. Thank you to Tom, first of all, for sending these to me, because that's a lovely gesture, and demonstrates some trust that I'll do the right thing by him. I'm not going to blow smoke up Tom's backside by the same token. If I've already had conversations with him about box size and some other bits and pieces, and there were some minor errors in one of the rule books that he has subsequently fixed. So all you guys that buy it going forward, it's fixed. When the games don't work, I've let him know that, and I'll let you know that too. We'll see what this is like. I'm not a huge solitaire guy, but I do want to encourage us, as I've written before and posted before. We need to be selective about our game buying, because we only have a certain amount of dollars. But we also need to be thoughtful about new game designers and what do they bring into the table. And if they're trying different and new things, then we should give them the benefit of the doubt. And even if it's just buying one game, we should go ahead and do that and try it and see if we like it, and tell a friend. So I'm sharing with you that I'm 95% certain this will be fun and it'll be a great experience. This I have no idea, but given a quick look at the rules and the skim that you and I have just done together, I'm sure it will be fun. So that's all I got to say. It was an enjoyable conversation with Tom. I'm looking forward to talking more to him, and I'm looking forward to seeing more titles in his series of games from Hollandspiele, and I wish him all the very best. Hit the website, check him out, see if there's something that you like. Take care.